You're looking live at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park for the Goat Fuel Grand Prix here for the Quantum Contender Series. It's race number 2 of the round of 10. We're here at the road course in Canada, across the north of the United States here, as drivers on the racetrack here currently for their qualifying sessions to see who can set the fast lap here tonight in Motorsports. Currently on the racetrack, Josh Schmitz currently has a fast lap time of 1:19.489. We'll see if he can go any quicker than that. Right now, currently as well. Josh Schmitz is behind him in second. Derek Raleigh in third here currently. As there's Cody Dorsey out on the racetrack right now in that 9 machine. As he's going down turn number 1 now through turn 2. Left-hander here, a long left-hander, a short left-hander, excuse me, it's turn 3, and up the hill into turn 4 and 5. Very treacherous race, part of the racetrack here, up the hill, under braking hard, right-hander here, down the long back straightaway. It's not as straight as possible, a little curvy here, but full throttle through these little S's kind of section. Let's take a little right-hander here, through a little kink section. Another right-hander, and then to a hard braking zone, another right-hander up here. Now the hairpin-esque corner. It was very long, not one, kind of a 180-degree-ish corner. And a little 90-degree corner left-hander, and then a 90-degree corner for the final corner on the racetrack here for Cody Dorsey. We'll see what place he comes into here in a moment. Crosses the stripe. Looks like an update here. It doesn't look like an update here right now. Currently in 9th place position, looks like. I'll try to get these updated for you here in a moment, but in the meantime, right now, Josh Schmitz still on top of the board, over Kyle Schmitz in second. Most of the drivers already completed their lap times here, so here you have some live time here right now. Here's Josh Smith still on top of the board. Currently in the pit lane, Dorian Hamilton in seconds now, as Kyle Schmitz in third. Rest track to fourth as one driver to go blind now on the racetrack here in the 8 machine. We'll see if he can maybe crack inside the top 5 and maybe top of the board here. Through the corners he goes. Now on to start his first time lap of the session. We'll see what he can do down in turn number 1. He will have time to complete his 2 laps. A little bit over 3 minutes left in the qualifying session, so plenty of time for him to do those laps. But it's not a mistake you want to make there on your first time lap. But the rear group try one with those tires once again. Try to get that going. As I was turn number 2, long left-hander. Such a tough corner there. So long, so inviting to go a little bit quicker, but kind of gets really quick. Oh, really, really shallow on the exits. Especially if you're carrying a lot of speed on the exit there as well. So the final few corners to try to warm up those tires once again. Make sure you can get on a quick last lap here. As a minute 45 when he's about to cross the line here. So plenty of time to do his lap. Just can't make any mistakes here on his final lap in qualifying. He blinks out there for a few moments of time. So up the hill he goes, tricky right-hander there, another tight right-hander, got set up perfectly down the back straightaway he goes. We'll see what his lap time looks like as he's on the gas pedal quickly. Now down the back. So we'll see what his lap time is here. Through the penultimate corner, now to the final right-hander. And coming to the stripe, what will Dakota Bly's lap time be? It's going to be a 1:21.475, and that puts himself into 7th place. Now wrap up qualifying as Joshua Schmitz will take the pole here tonight at Canadian Tire for the Goat Fuel Grand Prix. As we'll going to go into the race here. 65 laps in total for tonight's event. This qualifying officially has wrapped up here at Canadian Tire. As drivers will now grid up here for the 65 lap race. And right now we'll go take a look at our starting lap here for tonight's race. As we just saw Josh Schmitz get that pole position in that 2 machine. Alongside him will be Dorian Hamilton in 2nd. In 3rd will be Kyle Schmitz. In 4th will be Rusty Rafferty. 5th will be Mike Marshall. 6th will be Calvin Smith. Dakota Bly will be in 7th, and Derek Riley will be in 8th. Around the top 10 here is Brandon Cuxhausen and Cody Dorsey. Amber in 11th, Cole Lewis 12th. Stephen Horner in 13th, Scott Kerberg in 14th. And round out our 16 car field here tonight, Stan Stockdale and Jason Bottoms there in that 5 machine. You got fuel machine right there, the tail end of the field. We'll see what he can come up here, see what he can do in these opening laps here tonight. So 65 laps in total, like I mentioned, so it's about an hour and a half long race. So the gyros all the tester, a little endurance here, no caution brakes as well, so going green to the end here, most likely unless there's some freak incident or accident that could happen, but pretty cloudy right now as you're in Canada. I believe the official town here is Bowmanville, looks like, in Canada, as is locally in sim time is 4 p.m. Track temp 78 degrees, so a little cool track temp here with pretty high winds, almost 20 mile per hour winds in the sim, and 94% humidity. We'll put the weather right here in the middle of your screen. That's kind of what I'm seeing right here. So pretty high humidity and high winds here in the May months. You see the May right there in the time on your screen as well. So obviously this is race number 2, the round of 10. So it's going to be very important that these drivers continue to keep fighting for these points championships especially drivers in the top 10 as well in the points. But everyone else just fighting for pride at this point, trying to get to 11th place spot. You could technically get up to 6th place, I believe, as well, but so it all plays out as well. But really on the cutoff is Calvin Smith. He's +4 ahead of Derek Riley. Let's take it to the top 5. It's gonna be Joshua Schmitz, Cody Dorsey, Kyle Schmitz, Jordan Hamilton, and Calvin Smith's inside the top 5 right now for the round of 10. So those drivers, there is no winning you're in here, as obviously Joshua Schmitz winning last week at North Wilkesboro. He follows it up here with the pole position tonight at Canadian Tire. So he's looking for another strong run here tonight. Try to get that big cushion before next race here at Chicagoland, which is in 2 weeks' time. Obviously, next week we are off due to the duels at Daytona, so we'll off week before we head on to Chicagoland, which is a really fun racetrack in these next-gen cars. So, like I mentioned, very unique racetracks in this round of 10. You got North Wilkesboro, Canadian Tire, and then Chicagoland. So, not very easy racetracks to make too many mistakes. You don't want to get too behind the 8 ball, I would say. For example, Rusty Rafferty is about 12 points down, I believe. Looks like, yeah, 12 points down on the cutoff. So he's currently in 4th place right now, qualified 4th. So he's trying to get a good run showing here tonight as well. So we'll see what goes on tonight. Looking like it's going to be a 2-stop race, 25 laps for fuel. So around that 25 lap mark, we'll see some drivers head on the pit lane, but pace car going to take a hard right turn in the pit lane this time, as the rest of the field going through the final corner. Joshua Schmitz will lead us to the green. Vernon Flagman will roll the green flag. We're underway here at Canadian Tire. As everyone gets through to turn 1 smoothly, as they go rocket down into turn number 2 here. It's going to be turn 1, but now turn 2. As Joshua Schmitz now leads here most of the single file, as a little side-by-side action. Dan Brown, Cody Dorsey, that's for 8th and 9th. They single file out here quickly on this road course. Canadian Tire, fan favorite, at least in the truck series in real life. A lot of good close finishes, a lot of contact known here at Canadian Tire. Kind of races like a short track-esque with all these tight, twisty corners. We also have some high-speed action as well. So this road course really has everything. It's very short, so you make a mistake, you're going to lose quite a bit of time on the drivers around you. So the less mistakes you make, the better off you are. It's typical on most racetracks, but especially here at Canadian Tire. As everyone keeping it straight and good for now here in lap number 1. Jason Bottoms had to start from the pit lane. Looks like Mike Marshall as well did too. So 2 drivers starting from the pit lane here tonight. So 14 rolling off on the grid. Those guys are looking strong and good for now. As the exit turn at number 10 here for the first lap completes. And a few drivers have gained a few positions. We'll look at the opening lap positions gained. But it looks like Dan Barone has gained the most positions so far tonight on lap 1. He's up 4 spots already. Derek Riley up 3, Scott Kerberg up 2, and Kyle Schmitz up 1. So biggest gain of Dan Barone. Currently he's in 7th place. So he had a good initial start in that 33 machine as well. So really, drivers just kind of trying to get in the groove right now and try to pull away from everyone, as that's what Joshua Schmitz is doing here. Is a 2-second lead over the rest of the field. Gotta make sure you don't burn up those tires too much though, because tire wear definitely gonna be a big factor tonight in these road courses. They always are, especially at this such a tight race course. A lot of braking, heavy braking, and a lot of turning here in these tight sections of the racetrack. These drivers taking it pretty easy, no one really too close together here in lap number 2, but road courses in these stock cars kind of just known for strategy, especially if we don't see a caution. Scott Kerber down pit lane. See if he had any issues. Looks like major right front damage for that 14 machine. Let's take a quick look what happened. Blown engine. Wow. I believe that's turn 2. Oh my goodness. Scott Kerber. Let's see what happened here. Replay down to turn number 2. Just over drove the corner. Did not have the front grip that he wanted. Hit the wall. Oh man. Wow. Heavy contact with that pit, those tire barriers there. Now most likely ends his chance at a good finish. That's unfortunate for that 14 machine. But he does have a fast spare if he doesn't want to use it, as Cole Lewis, I believe, out of the session as well. As he's off-roading it here through the gravel. He goes in that 52 machine. He kind of blinked out for a second there, so might have had some technical issues for that 52 machine. We'll see. And it just blinks out there for a second. I think they've had some technical issues for that 52, but he's back running. But Russ Rafty, Derek Riley close together here for 4th and 5th. Up the hill they go, not back down to the right-hander. And Russ Rafty with a good exit down the back straightaway. Kyle Schmitz is now closing on Joshua Schmitz up ahead. They're out of the race lead within half a second of each other. As fastest lap last time by was Kyle Schmitz, who's about a 10th or so faster than Joshua Schmitz ahead. Oh, car spin! That's Rusty Rafty, I believe. Around another driver around. That's Derek Riley around at 17. I think he may have got tagged from Rusty Rafty as they were spinning in the background there. And they're going to lose a ton of spots. That's not what Rusty Rafty wanted to see. He's already struggling here, and same with Derek Riley in the points. They're outside looking in and wrecking there on the long right-hander. Take a look what happened. Rusty Rafty just overshot the corners way too much. As they go down into the right-hand corner here, Rusty Rafty, he's still wiggling, just overdrove it way too much. Slideways right there. And oh yeah, he did tag Derek Riley. That's what I thought I saw. And wow. Both those drivers are bound for 4th and 5th. Now down to 10th and 9th. Respectfully, but a little Dorian Hamilton around in that 25 machine. He's gonna lose 1-2 spots here from 3rd to 5th. So these drivers make a little early mistakes here. Maybe on these colder tires as well, not 100% up to temperature. We'll see what happened. But Dorian Hamilton just probably overdrove it, cooked it a little bit. Oh, clipped the apron, or not clipped the apron, he clipped the rumble strip there, went off-roading just a little bit. As Brandon Cuxhausen loses a spot here to Calvin Smith as well for 6th and 7th. As Josh Schmidt's pulling away a little bit now from Kyle Schmidt's last time by. But these two are pretty much gone from the rest of the field, about 7 seconds ahead of Dakota Bly, who was a big mover. We saw him during qualifying. He's up 4 spots, but Dan Barone up 7, up to 4th place. Biggest mover of the night easily, by far, is that 33 machine of Dan Barone. As Dorian Hamilton once again around, spun around. I think that's turn number 1. Looks like. So around he goes. No, it's not. It's be turn number number 3 right there. Yeah, just cooked it a little bit too much there on turn number 3. He's off track again, man. Dorian Hamilton struggling here early. He's down to 8 spots. Started all the way up in the 2nd place. He's down to 10th place not the race not the start he wanted here tonight at Canadian Tire, but so far the rest of the field doing pretty good. This is the top 3, top 5 I would say, but Brandon Cuxhausen another attack from Derek Riley, who spun out a few laps ago. Riley clipped that apron right there. Rumble shift to help the car rotate just a little bit more. He's all the back bumper of Brandon Cuxhausen. Will he look to the inside here in turn number 2? Not quite. Just stay behind for now. As he's really all over the back bumper of Cuxhausen. I was trying to eye where to go here. Is slowing down quite a bit, maybe trying to make a move right here. Maybe set it up perfectly. As up the hill they go. Oh, Cuxhausen clips the grass there, clips the gravel. Let's go out Derek Riley. He gets his inside and try to pull away here. And yes, he does. Cuxhausen loses big time there down the back. And Derek Riley inside the top 6 and up to that 6th place spot here, down the back straight away. here at Canadian Tire. So after the chaotic kind of initial start there, kind of settled in here on lap 7 with Josh Schmitz in the race lead and Kyle Schmitz in second. We'll see as Dan Sacdero a little slow there. May have been a mistake for him. Yeah, just a little mistake right there off of that corner, and that allowed Jason Bottoms to catch up to him and pass him. So he's up to 12th place. Jason Bottoms, who's starting at a dead last position, stopped from the pits right there, and he's up to 12th place already. As here's Cody Dorsey, he's catching up to Brandon Cuxhausen, who made a mistake a lap ago. We'll see if he can pounce on that 7 machine. Jason Bottoms right on the back bumper of Cole Lewis. Low smoke there. Maybe Lewis went for a spin as there goes Jason Bottoms once again up to 11th place. He's moving up on the racetrack right now in that 5 machine. Looking really good, even though he started from the pit lane quite a bit back from the field. But now he's making up some spots here. He's 41 seconds back from our race leader, but if he can get right strategy call, he can maybe inside that top 5. Realistically, if he doesn't make any too big mistakes, as it's kind of the name of the game here on these road courses, to make the least mistakes as possible. But Cuxhausen, he's under attack here from not just Cody Dorsey, but now Rusty Rafferty as well, who spun out a few laps ago, made a mistake in the back section of Canadian Tire, but he's worked his way back up a little bit, and he's trying to catch up to Brandon Cuxhausen and Cody Dorsey, who's had a little separation here now, as Cuxhausen, he's gotten some few good corners here through 1 and 2. Now through turn 3. It's turn 2 and turn 3. Very tricky corners, you know. You have so much off track, all that grass there, just very inviting. You feel like you have a lot more space to do. And it's all obviously a lot of drivers just kind of overshoot turn 2 and turn 3. Probably one of the hardest corners on the racetrack, even though in hindsight you would think they would not be too hard. You would think this section is a little bit harder, but it just seems like turn 2 and turn 3 catches a lot of drivers off guard, it seems like. You're at Mosport. Mosport, one of my favorite racetracks here on iRacing, at least road course side for a stock car. Just so fast and flowy, and just so fun to drive, especially in like an IMSA sports car type of thing, and obviously a NASCAR stock car. Usually the truck series goes here, obviously historically, but not anymore. But it would be really cool if they went back here. Definitely a fan favorite racetrack, I would say, if you ask a lot of NASCAR fans. You can see how just there's some pretty good racing throughout the field as well. The name of the game here, right at this point, probably just could be a little bit of strategy. Obviously, we were told 25 laps is the fuel tank that these drivers can go to with this fuel tank, but you can pretty much split that up into 25, 50 into the end. But you could see some drivers maybe pit a little early the first time and go a little bit longer the second time, so maybe you're struggling a little bit on tires here right now, as most of the field probably they're about a second slower or so compared to the fastest lap times. So we'll see if these drivers kind of make some strategy calls here in this race, and how will that affect them as well. And this is kind of the closest battle we have on the racetrack. We also have Dakota Bly catching up with Dan Barone for the top 3 spot. As here comes Rusty Rafferty. He was really quick in qualifying, pretty quick in practice as well. But obviously made that one big mistake down the back half section here. But he's trying to regroup here, and it's a little bit tougher to pass here. Canadian Tire, Rusty Rafferty kind of learning that the hard way here, trying to get around Cody Dorsey. Seems like he's maybe a little bit quicker in some parts of the racetrack, but Dorsey's a little bit quicker in some other parts. So it's a little kind of a cat and mouse game currently here. We're on 8th place. But we'll see if he's able to maybe make a move up the hill here. We have a peak, not quite. Dorsey kind of shuts the door a little bit here, maybe a little defensive, not very defensive, but maybe turns in a little bit early, kind of a strategy you can use. Maybe make your opponent think you're kind of blocking just a little bit, and obviously it works right there. So Resurrecti stays behind for now. We have a couple drivers within second of each other. You got Dan Barone, Dakar Bly, you got Calvin Smith and Derek Riley. We have a slow car there. I think some lap traffic maybe. Stephen Horner looks like it is. And Tennessee Vols paint scheme. As Rusty Rafty right on the back door of Cody Dorsey as Brian Cookshausen was pulled away from these two behind him. As here comes the move maybe for Rusty Rafty. Oh, he kind of overshot the corner there. Dorsey defending a little low here on the right side of the racetrack. Rusty Rafty with a good launch here. Can he get through those gears quick enough? Not quite. I think Dorsey's just going to let him have it right here. I think he's just going to let him by for this 8th place spot, and he will clear. Move himself in the 8th place as now Derek Riley. Pitch up to Calvin Smith, who's involved in that wreck with Rusty Rafty a few laps ago, around lap 4 or 5. Riley trying to close inside that top 5 spot. He's been a little bit quicker than Calvin Smith, about 5/10 quicker a lap. Can he get around this time by here for that 3 machine? Every position here for Derek Riley is important as he's in 6th place currently on the bubble here in the round of 10. 4 points back from Calvin Smith even, so this position matters a little bit more. We'll take away Smith's points and we'll give it to the Rileys pretty much. And you also have some lap traffic up ahead. I believe this Calvin Smith goes a little bit wide there on the exit of turn 3 now. Through turn 4, lap traffic up ahead. How will this affect Calvin Smith getting through turn 5 and turn 6? We go down the back straightaway here. It looks like, Dakota Bly, issues for that 8 machine, may have lost connection. He is nowhere to be found on the serve session. Unfortunate for that 8 machine. Big time playoff implications right there. He was in 8th place below the cutoff. He was 9 points below the cutoff, but he was in the great run in that 4th and 3rd place spots. He had a chance to maybe get up to Dan Barone. He has lost connection to the session. Absolute heartbreak for that 8 machine. As this could be tough for him next week to get those spots back next week at Chicagoland. This is probably his best opportunity to take advantage of some of those drivers in front of him that were struggling here early on, like Cody Dorsey, Dorian Hamilton, and Calvin Smith. And obviously Dan Barone was right ahead of him, so you could maybe made up some points as well. But going into next week, that's going to be tough. He's falling all the way back down to 14th place. Absolute right there for that 8 machine. As here comes Calvin Smith to let Dan Barone by, or Derek Riley by, excuse me. There is Jason Bottoms, just sets the fast lap on the race. They're in that 10th place spot, so Jason Bottoms, if he did not have to surf in that pit lane, he may have been a little contender here for possibly a win tonight. Right now he's looking really good on this longer run. Close about on the racetrack here is Dan Sactero and Cole Lewis. This is for 12th and 13th. The tail end of the lead lap. And you see, actually, you can see Josh Schmitz, I think, in the background there. Yes, see, that's who that is right there. Slowly lurking to catch up to these maybe possible lap down cars in a few moments' time. These drivers are duking out here for 12th place. And also we do have the bracket challenge as well. next week. So that'll be another storyline going into next week. So, or in 2 weeks' time, I should say. Kind of, this is Canadian Tire allowing these drivers to maybe set the brackets a little bit more to improve their seedings. The drivers who are on the outside, not in the playoffs, so it kind of gives them something to fight for as well, instead of just a little bit of pride, I would say. But kind of a cool thing that they do here for the non-playoff drivers is cars right here, Dan Sackero lets Joshua Smith's by there off of turn number, I believe, 5 right there. Got to these numbers a little bit. I believe that is turn 5, turn 6. I guess this little kink is considered turn 6, and this turn 7 kink as well. So this is actually turn 8. So this is right-hander right here. Then this little kink right here is turn 9. Then you got the final turn of turn 10 right here. So kind of learning on the fly here, as there's not really a track map on the iRacing server like you look at currently, but it looks like Cole Lewis will also let our race leader by as these drivers will resume battle for 12th. Actually, Cole Lewis a little slow there. Get a lot of Dan Sackero by, actually. As Dakota by back on the racetrack here from his connection issues. Now in 15th place, 2 laps down. Unfortunate for him. He can maybe make up a few positions, but it's not going to be a much. As we're already on lap 15 of this 65 lap race. This race has kind of flown by so far tonight. Already around 1/4 of the way through. Give or take a few laps, probably 2 or so. But right now, Joshua Smith's out in front big time over Kyle Schmidt. 7 seconds is the gap. As the Schmidt's 1 and 2, currently Dan Brown in 3rd, having a good run tonight. He's currently 7th in the playoffs. Went into tonight, and he's 6 points out with Derek Riley behind him, Calvin Smith behind him, Dorian Hamilton having a bad night. This could be a really good night here for Dan Brown to give himself a little bit of a chance here going next in then 2 weeks' time here at Chicagoland. So it plays out as Derek Riley getting caught by Calvin Smith in 4th place. Riley passed Smith a few laps ago. It looks like Smith kind of reeling him back in these last few corners. Gap down to about half a second there. Got 4th and 5th place spot. Rusty Racky has also caught up to Brandon Cuxhausen here. As Calvin Smith getting around Derek Riley here, possibly down their back straight away. He's going to look to the left side here. It's going to be a little tricky down in turn number 7. Number 8, I should say. It's a rocket down there, but it looks like Derek Riley will stay ahead for now. To go through turn 8, now turn 9. As Rusty Rafty now on the back bumper, as he will clear here down in turn 8 on the outside line, and he moves himself up in that 6th place spot. Now he's about 14 seconds back from Calvin Smith in 5th. He wants to try to get that top 5 spots here from Calvin Smith. Now pit stop should be happening here in a couple laps time. As the fuel window around lap 25 or so. I'm expecting we'll see some pit stops probably around lap 20 plus 20 to 25, I would say, for most of the drivers. Some of the drivers a little struggling on these tires, but the tire fall off has not been as bad as I thought it would be. As we'll take an example for Josh Schmitz. It's about 1 second slower than his fastest lap compared to his last lap, so we can kind of compare right here on your screen. So look at the last lap compared to the fastest lap of the race, about 1 second of fall off, about an 18 laps, so it's pretty good margins right there. I mean, it's kind of expected fall off. You probably maybe see as Calvin Smith just had the fastest lap of the race right there, so clearly the fall off is not as bad as I thought it would be in tonight's race. Smith, as he caught up to Dan Barone. Dan Barone made a mistake there, as now it's going to be a 3-car battle here for 3rd place. Lap traffic behind him of Cole Lewis. As looks like maybe Derek Riley trying to get around to him. Yes, he will. Clear off turn number 3. Now he has a sight set on Dan Barone for that top 3 spots as well. And Thomas Smith also in the mix here behind him. Go on board here from Dan Barone's back view. As we see, Derek Riley now within a few car lengths here, down the front straightaway. Across the stripe here, about 3/10 of the gap. Will he make a lunge down to turn number 1 or 2? Looking down to turn number 1, he has a momentum down, a little short shoot through turn number 2. Lays out the outside line, doesn't have the advantage. Will he pinch him down? Oh, Riley! Wow, he's stuck on the outside line, and he's gonna get up to that 3rd place spot. But here comes Calvin Smith as well. As Dan Barone, wow, what a move there for Derek Riley. Dan Barone goes from 3rd to 5th, just to like that. There's one driver hit the, I think that'd been Cole Lewis. Made a mistake there. No, actually, that was Dan Sacdero. Might have hit the outside barriers there. Oh man, heavy contact for that 27 machine. We'll go on board with that one. Just did he lose brakes or wow, that was very weird incident there. Let's go on board, go like in the cockpit view of this one. Just a weird. Yeah, it just seems like he lost brakes there. Could not slow down. Yeah, I think he may have lost brakes. Yeah, he has no brakes, I believe. Wow, may have been a mechanical issue from his sim, from his pedals or whatnot. As you have to bring him down pit lane 1 lap down already. So a lot of mechanical and failures here tonight, I would say, are sim-related failures. Obviously, we got Bly disconnecting from the session. He's out of tonight's race as well. Obviously, Dan Sacdero, I believe his brake pedal may have failed him there, possibly, or something must have happened there as well. Another still about here for 3rd place. Calvin Smith just has fast off the race a few laps to go. Still has it right now. Can he get around the 17 machine of Derek Riley for that top 3 spot? We shall find out here in a few moments' time. Guys really wheeling it around here at this tight racetrack, as these chase drivers, or playoff drivers I should call them, Really trying to find these limits as much as they can. Try to get as many points as they can. Oh, we got a spinner right in front of him. That's Stan Stockero around in turn number 5. These lead lap drivers make it through cleanly as Derek Riley now under attack here from Calvin Smith. Now through turn 6, now coming out of turn number 7. As Riley got back to the inside line, will Calvin Smith do a little crossover move here through 8, now through 9. It looks like Riley has a big enough of a gap, but he doesn't even have to worry too much as Jordan Hamilton now attacking Cody Dorsey here for that 8th place spot as now they're on the back straightaway. Going through turn 6 and turn 7. These little kinks right here. That's turn 6. And this is turn 7 up here. Upwards of 160 miles per hour down in turn number 8. See that rubber building up there in turn 8 as well. He's working way down on the racetrack currently. Helping these drivers make those turns and keep the grip on the racetrack. Keep those cars on the racetrack as well. As car spinning right there. That's Kyle Schmitz. Our second place currently he's now down to 4th place. Spins it around. He's now down to 4th. Could be 5th here in a moment. As he spins off of turn number 1. It looks like actually it's not turn 1, it's turn number 3. Excuse me. I always get those corners mixed up for some reason. Kind of very similar with the wall right there, but it's a little wide in turn 3. Clip that left rear. Around he goes. No damage for that Ford Mustang. He's going to lose quite a bit of time. I think that was Derek Riley almost hit him there in the rear ends, but luckily he avoids. Now Calvin Smith has to regroup as now Derek Riley and Calvin Smith battling here for 2nd place. This looks like Josh Schmidt's down pit lane here for first time tonight. One of our front runners down pit lane on lap 22. As Kyle Schmidt's also down pit lane as well after that big mistake he just made. Kyle Schmidt's off of the pit road there, and here comes Kyle Schmidt's. Looks like he forward tires and full tank of fuel as well for that 19 machine. As now Derek Riley currently leads here at Canadian Tire, but he still has to make a pit stop here. Obviously, it's Jordan Hamilton now down pit lane on the right side of your screen. We'll see what goes on here. I see you can kind of hear maybe those cars going through that gravel. Could make him a bit loose on the entry to these corners as well. Could cause some trouble from these drivers. Mike Marshall down pit lane as well. We'll see these drivers come down pit lane. We'll see them take a hard right turn here. Go a little wide, and yep, there they go. Derek Riley, Calvin Smith will follow as well. So pitting a little earlier than our estimated fuel stints. As well, we see some of these drivers maybe take 2 tires here. It'll be a bold strategy at a road course like this, but we will see as Amber run out on pit lane. So most of the drivers coming down pit lane. Rusty Rafferty coming down, so everyone coming down pit lane right now currently. Well, Cody Dorsey, he'll go into a lap. Cody Dorsey gonna stay out. He will take the race lead for now. As Kyle Schmidt's very close to Calvin Smith here on the exit of pit lane. Calvin Smith pit a lap later. Kyle Schmidt's tires going to be a little bit warmer as well. Oh, Calvin Smith, as soon as I said, around he goes off of turn number 2. And turn number 3 is Derek Riley having to avoid, as same with Kyle Schmidt's as well. May have a stall penalty for that one. Off the little kink there as Calvin Smith on those cold tires. struggling to get up to speed. He'll lose a couple of spots there to Derek Riley and Kyle Schmitz as he'll fall down to 5th place. As Kerry Dorsey will pit this time by, as Josh Schmitz still in the race lead, even though Kerry Dorsey has not pitted yet. That's how just dominant Josh Schmitz has been. As Dan Barone spun around there, I believe that's off of turn number 5 or 6. Looks like turn 5 is just backing up here, making sure there's a Henny one. So looks like it's just cold tires. Yeah, cold tires right there. Drivers are so used to these hot tires. They've been on them for about 24 laps, 25 laps. So Kerry Dorsey going out one more lap as well. So he's trying to stretch this thing out as long as he can. Maybe hope for some of these drivers to make some mistakes on those colder tires as well. Another driver off the racetrack, I think it's Dan Stockdero. Yes, it is. It's Cole Lewis and Steven Horner has got the pit as well. Kerry Dorsey is yet to pit. Will he come out this time by? What I was told was the fuel window ended on lap 25. Can Kerry Dorsey stretch it one more lap? This won't really matter. You still have to make at least 2 more pit stops no matter what. But we will see. As there he goes down pit lane. It's nice and easy down into this box right there. Looks like no speed penalty for that 9 machine. Calvin Smith spun around there off of turn 9 and turn 10. A little short shoot right there. As again, he's struggling on these colder tires. Just getting them up to temperature. Just not as much grip on these colder tires like I mentioned. It takes a few laps for him to completely warm up. Pull Lewis out of the void, but he was coming out pit lane anyways. It's Kerry Dorsey still on his box right there. As the pit cycle is complete, everyone has come out pit lane, as Steven Horner actually is the only one that's not, but he should come in this time by Cole Lewis exiting his box right now. It's Kerry Dorsey who exited the box in that 8th place spot. Bernie Hamilton close to Rusty Rafferty. We'll see what he can do here for this is for a top 5 position here currently. And for your viewers at home, make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel as well to help support Legends Racing Network and also the Undisputed Cup Series. Their affiliate links are in the description below as well. So if you want to use those links to support this league, they're in the description as well below. A little side-by-side battle here for Kyle Schmitz and Derek Riley. Looks like Schmitz will be ahead for now. But you don't want to overshoot turn number up the hill. Turn 4 and turn 5. As Rusty Rafferty now attacking Calvin Smith here in a few moments' time. It's for 4th and 5th. Like I say, Jordan Hamilton may have been a little bit slow there. We'll see what happened. That 25 machine that was off turn number 2, it looks like. Just spun around on those cold tires. There was a 3-car battle here for a moment here for around 4th, 5th, and 6th. Jordan Hamilton just a little bit too hot down in turn number 2 and clipped that grass with his right rear tire. Around he goes as now it's Derek Riley, Kyle Schmitz, Rusty Rafferty, Calvin Smith close together here on the racetrack currently, but Josh Schmitz haven't even shown that much because he's just so far out in front. Nothing really happening to that 2 machine. As long as he doesn't make any too crazy big mistakes, I think he might go ahead and win his second race in a row and his 3rd in total this season. It would be a great performance for that 2 machine to start off this playoffs just like that. As Rusty after he was able to get around Calvin Smith there for fourth place. Now he's going to try to pull away here as Rusty Rafty back up to that fourth place spot where he started at. We'll take a quick look at our biggest gainers so far tonight. Here in a moment. It's actually Derek Riley also got around Kyle Schmitz once again. But we'll look at our biggest gainers so far tonight. It's Derek Riley, who's currently in second place, and Jason Bottoms, who's in fifth place currently. Brent Cuxhausen or Jason Bottoms up 5 positions. He's currently in 11th place. Brent Cuxhausen up 3, and Cody Dorsey up 2. So we haven't really had a lot of big gainers tonight, just a couple. Obviously a couple with the 1 as well. But we will see how this plays out. Still more pit stop left in this race. We're about the halfway point pretty shortly. These next few laps. Jordan Hamilton once again spun out as actually he's in the pit lane. And he might be out of tonight's race. So I believe Calvin Smith as well spun out. And oh, Calvin Smith. Oh my. Calvin Smith spun off of turn number 10, it looks like. Just clipped the apron maybe and just loops it around on his own. Clipped the inside wall barely. And I think he goes to back up his race car. Thinks he's okay. But Dorian Hamilton does not seem at all. And his night is over, it looks like, for that 25 machine. 2 playoff contention drivers right there. And their nights going to be very negatively affected by that incident right there on lap number 29:30. Alan Smith able to continue, but Dorian Hamilton having to reset and go to the pit lane there. It's unfortunate for Dorian Hamilton. He was looking really good coming into the night's race. Got 4th place spot in the championship, up 6 points. But now with Calvin Smith struggling, but I mean, a lot of these playoff drivers have been struggling here. Obviously, go by earlier, disconnecting, losing connections. We have a spin right there as well. That is Steven Horner. And that 71 machine still stuck there. Not sure if he's stuck in the pit lane. Oh, looks like he is. Not sure he got into that position or he just spun it at almost at the pit tires right there. They've had some help. No, just clipped that curb and spun it around. Didn't get too badly damaged on that 71 machine, but he will continue in that Tennessee Bulls machine. As Cody Dorsey getting around Calvin Smith and Smith. Slow again, once again. We'll see what happened to that 3rd machine. I think he might have just taken a little bit easy there. No, actually, no, it was not Calvin Smith. It was another driver. I think it was Dan Brown. They went off-roading there for a few moments. Yeah, just clip the grass, overshot turn number 3 there. Now Calvin Smith closing the gap there on Cody Dorsey and for that 6th place spot. There's a lot of action happening all on the racetrack, even if these drivers are pretty spread out, man. Action seems like every other lap. I'm missing it even, how much action is going on. Like Cody Dorsey trying to stay in that 6th place spot as Calvin Smith closing in that gap. But Dorsey does have those a little bit fresher tires than Calvin Smith, about 2 lap fresher tires. So looks like Dorian Hamilton goes another lap, loses another position to Dan Stockero in that 12th place spot. Calvin Smith getting around Cody Dorsey here in the moment. A slow car right there. They get back through that lap traffic through turn 2, go up the hill. Steven Horner down in the pit lane. Now down the back, can Cody Dorsey stay ahead of Calvin Smith? Doesn't look like he gets through those gears as quick as Calvin Smith. The Smith will clear on the outside line and will move himself up in that 6th place spot. Here halfway through the Goat Fuel Grand Prix. As right now we're going to do a little other one, crank it up as we're halfway through tonight's race here on lap number 32. As back live here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. As you can see through those camera angles, how much elevation is at this racetrack. Just up the hill, down the hill, and through these corners as well. Just so much elevation here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. And currently there's not really any battles on the racetrack going on right now, as everyone kind of just set in stone into positions right now. Oh, Josh Schmitz might be the first mistake I've seen him make all night. We haven't really been watching him too much, but oh, trouble up ahead. Lance Tamborello up off the racetrack. Big spin there for that 33 machine. He's going to lose a spot, maybe even to the Curry Dorsey and Mike Marshall Taking his car Dorsey through as well, so he'll slide himself down in the 9th place. This next driver behind him is Jason Bottoms in that 10th place spot. 10th place spot, excuse me. About 17 seconds back from Dan Barone. Right now, kind of just in the moment of the racetrack, a moment of the race, just kind of chilling out. Drivers kind of know what they, kind of know how the car handles on these older tires, newer tires, and hopefully they can figure it out. And well, these next pit stops a little bit more successful maybe than the last pit stops, as a lot of those drivers struggle a little bit on those newer tires. Just not able to quite get as much grip as they probably wanted to from those newer tires. So you could maybe even see some drivers take left sides only, as this racetrack is mostly right-hand, a lot of right-handers here at Canadian Tire, so the left side gets used up a little bit more than the right side. But still a risky call here at a road course, just having that just very uneven balance, you could say, for these tires. But surprisingly enough, Derek Riley closing that gap on Joshua Schmidt's gap down to about 10 seconds. Riley's been in some good lap times the last 3 laps. We can even compare top 2 right now currently, even though they're about 10 seconds apart from each other. See on the bottom of your screen right now. So just Derek Riley has been eating into that lead from Joshua Schmidt here these past few laps. So we'll see if that storyline continues. Dan Stockero down pit lane in that 12 machine. We'll see if there's a scheduled pit stop for the 27 machine, excuse me. And 12th place spot looks like it is. Looks like he got some vertical damage, but he's coming out pit lane here on lap 37. We're a little bit past halfway in this race, as like I mentioned before, support the stream, like and subscribe as well to the channel, and share to your friends and family. If you want to support the Quantum Contender series as well, there's some links in the description as well to support this league and these drivers that do it every Thursday night here on the Legends Racing Network. And we're closing down the season here pretty quickly in about a month's time or so. So it's crunch time for these playoff contenders. And Joshua Schmidt has answered that bell, answered the phone pretty much, I would say, here in these first 2 races. One last week at North Wilkesboro. He's looking to have a dominant performance so far tonight here at Canadian Tire. He's led pretty much every single lap but a couple. And he's been out front for most of these 38 laps with 28 to go. So one more pit stop to go, so he doesn't want to speed down pit lane, making any crucial mistakes, but he's been Mr. Consistent tonight so far. He's been on the pole, hasn't looked back since, but he's got to try to get around the slap traffic of Calvin Smith, who's in 6th place, so we'll see if he can do so easily. It looks like Smith giving him plenty of room on that left side. Dan Barone side by little battle here with Cody Dorsey. It's her 8th and 9th. So Dan Barone hits the inside wall, and around he goes once again, as he's going to lose quite a bit of spots, as he's currently in 9th place, but he's probably going to go on the 10th place as Jason Bottoms will pass him here in a few moments' time. Here's that 5 machine. He's going to try to avoid Dan Barone, as I don't know if that was a mistake down into that turn number 8. Take a quick look at that one. I don't know if he got some help from behind or just maybe locked up the brakes and spun it around on entry. Yeah, just very weird incident there for a 33 machine. Just under braking, the car just went right. Not sure what exactly happened. We'll go on board with this 33 machine. As he's looking at the inside while looking to the inside, and just maybe a little jump right there, maybe unsettled the race car just quite a bit. Round he goes as he falls down to 10th place as Jason Bottoms now up to 9th place. Had to start from the pits there early tonight. He's up 7 spots, currently the most of any driver so far. Biggest gainer tonight is Jason Bottoms. He's been slugging around there in that mid part of the race, mid part of the field there in around 9th place, and slowly but surely he just hasn't really made any mistakes tonight. He's looking really strong here and trying to make his case to move on to the round of 5 and set himself up good in 2 weeks' time at Chicagoland. Right now the field pretty separated right now, but the pit window is going to be opening here in a couple of laps time, so we'll see if any drivers come down pit lane here early. A little Brandon Cuxhausen, and that's never a good sign there as he's coming down pit lane. I don't know if he can see down pit lane. He'll go all aboard that 7 machine. That's major front end damage for him as he's entering pit lane. You cannot see anything right there. As what happened to him? As his hood just started, oh, major wreck there for him. See, he just overshot the curb there and ow, right in the outside wall. That made his hood go up and he couldn't see for half the lap there. Luckily, he does have a fast spray, so he's gonna fix some of that damage, but he's gonna lose a little bit of time. There, but luckily he found the right time to pit because he can make it on fuel from here on out. So luckily the pit window is open for that 7 machine. But once again, Derek Riley closing in that gap here. Just a little bit from Joshua Schmitz. He's got down to 9.4 seconds. As we'll see if Derek Riley can maybe contend for this race win in these next 25 laps or so. He's slowly but surely closing in that gap on Joshua Schmitz as just gotta get through that lap traffic as good as possible. I think that's really the key for tonight's victory. Just get through that lap traffic as smooth as possible. Not make any big mistakes, especially in the second half of this race. We've seen Joshua Schmitz make a little bit of mistakes, but not too many tonight, so hasn't been too mistake filled for that 2 machine, obviously out in front with about a 10-second gap lead over the rest of the field. As now they gap down to 8.6 seconds. As driver down pit lane, it's Joshua Schmitz down pit lane. Derek Riley will take the race lead here once again. Took it over a couple for the last pit stop cycle, but can he take advantage of this one here? There he goes, drops the jack and away he goes. Let's go foul on the 3rd place behind Kyle Schmitz in 2nd. As we'll see where he cycles out here compared to him and Derek Riley. As will Derek Riley come down pit lane this time by as he goes through turn 8 and now turn 9. It looks like he will, so this is the money stop here for Derek Riley. Will he maybe take 2 tires as well? That would be a bold strategy for him. It's officially in the pit lane here and going down pace, pit road speed. Here comes Kyle Schmitz. He's going to stay on another lap. Josh Schmitz obviously already has pitted tonight for his final pit stop of the night as well. Derek Riley looking like fuel only here. Very quick pit stop. And the way he goes, Jason Bottoms now down pit lane as well. So Derek Riley, he's only lost, he gained about 2 seconds there on Joshua Schmitz, but he doesn't have cold tires, so that could be an advantage for him as well. As Jason Bottoms here in the pit lane. Looks like he's to take 4 fresh tires, full tank of fuel. He's gonna probably come out around that 10th place spot. And yes, he will, so we'll stay in that 10th place spot, and we'll see where he goes out here after these pit stops commence. As Derek Riley now within 2 seconds of Joshua Schmitz. Schmitz, I think, made a mistake there. As yeah, he spun. Joshua Schmitz spins on the entry. Maybe turn number 3. Loses a ton of time, about 3-4 seconds there. Now Derek Riley is in striking distance. 1.4 seconds back here with 22 laps to go. Can Riley catch up in time? He's played the right strategy. We'll see if it plays out correctly here in these next 22 laps. Derek Riley trying to push as hard as he can as Dan Brown off of pit lane now. A little bit of a long pit stop for that 33 machine. Now Josh Schmitz has kind of kept his gap the same here, so he's got to be consistent. Oh, I think Derek Riley spins it around. Wow. Off of turn number 5, and that's going to cost him a chance probably at the win there. Massive, massive mistake for Derek Riley. He's now 10 seconds back from Joshua Schmitz there in that 2nd place spot currently. Wow. So now Joshua Schmitz has a sigh of relief there. As Kyle Schmitz coming up pit lane this time by as well in that 19 machine. Aggressor after he gets down an extra lap as well. We'll see how long he can go. He went very long last time. So he can go probably another 6 laps or so if he wants to in that 9 machine. And Rusty Rafty have yet to pit. The only 2 drivers that have yet to pit so far is Rusty Rafty down pit lane. That third place spot, we'll see where it goes out here in a few moments' time. See that beeping there? That just means the driver coming down into the pits as Kyle Schmitz flies past him. But I think Rusty Rafferty will stay in that fourth place spot as Kerry Dorsey way further back there on half the track, laying it back as he's about to get a lap down here from Joshua Schmitz, as he'll get others way right there. Dorsey still has to pit at least one more time here tonight as well. Yeah, Jason Bottoms is one lap down currently, as there are about 6 other cars one lap down as well. We'll battle here for around 7th and 8th. So Grant Cookshausen get around Mike Marshall. Mike Marshall may have been a little slow, maybe he did a little spin there off of turn number 5. Overshot just a little bit, and on those colder tires, like I mentioned multiple times tonight, and loses a spot here to Brandon Cookshausen. That's 7 machine. We'll see if Mike Marshall can maybe regroup there, get his tires heated up, maybe have a run here on Cookshausen in these next few laps. These laps are winding down, only 18 laps to go, which is around a little over 20 minutes in real life time. About officially 23 minutes, give or take. So really not that much time here left in tonight's race, a little less than a quarter left, around the quarter left I would say. Here for the Goat Fuel Grand Prix. It's currently has Derek Rowley now 22 seconds back. His blown engine. Wow, that's a big development here for Derek Riley. Blown engine for that 17 machine. He has not used his fast spare quite yet, but he'll have to come down pit lane, as happened a long time ago. It was off of turn number 1, looks like. Maybe clipped the grass there on the exits. Just hopped it just a little bit. Pow! Right in the inside wall, yes, or right side wall, and blown engine for him. He'll lose a spot there with Kyle Schmitz, maybe even Rusty Rafferty. Unfortunate for Derek Riley, as he was on the outside looking in on the points as well. He was currently in 6th as his engine is blown completely. We have to coast to the rest of the pit lane, or we have to reset. We'll see what happens here. Got that 17 machine. You can see no engine power here. It's just 30 miles per hour entering pit lane. He should be able to coast down into his pit box. He cannot make a mistake here, overshoot or undershoot his pit box. There he goes, driving through these pit boxes here. Slowly but surely getting to that 17 stall. Looks like he got fixed and going away. As there he goes, a little quick stop for that 17. So he'll lose 1 spot here to Rusty Rafferty, so he moved himself down in the 4th place. Technically 2 spots he lost to Kyle Schmitz and Rusty Rafferty, but luckily for him, that could have been a lot worse for that 4 machine, or that 17 machine in 4th place. But now Mike Marshall and Brandon Cookshausen duking out here for around 7th and 8th. There's almost some contact between Mike Marshall and Cookshausen. Entering turn 9, now through turn 10. Down the front straightaway they go. Now this is the closest bout on the racetrack for 8th and 7th, 7th and 8th I should say. Currently that's Brandon Cookshausen and Mike Marshall, 7th and 8th. These drivers continue kind of single filing out here for 7 and 8. We'll see if there's any battle here currently between these two. As will one of these drivers make a mistake, and if so, what corner will happen? I think turn 2, turn 3 definitely really tricky, as Marshall a little bit shallower entry than the turn 3 compared to Cuxhausen up ahead. A little bit better exit though. Cuxhausen went a little wide. Now will Marshall make a move down into turn 4 and turn 5? Not quite. He's gonna back out of it there. Down the hill now, back to the steep uphill. There he goes. A big move to the inside for Mike Marshall. He backs out of it last moment. So he's gonna lose quite a bit of time here on the exits. Down into turn 6 now. See these drivers flying down this back straightaway at 160 miles per hour through turn 6. Now coming down to turn number 7 is Curry Dorsey down pit lane. The final time tonight. It's down to turn number 8 here, where Mike Marshall and Brendan Cuxhausen. Now, where will Cody Dorsey slot into? He might slot into around the 7th or 8th place spot. So looks like he may have took fuel only there in that 9 machine. So here comes Cuxhausen and Marshall. It's going to be very close on the exit. It looks like they'll clear easily. Down through turn 1. Now coming down to short shoot through turn 2. Cody Dorsey right behind them though. Only about a second and a half, 2 seconds behind. So we'll see how that fares out for him if these fresh or warmer tires, I should say, as one driver right in front of him making some trouble there. Spraying Cuxhausen goes wide, allows Mike Marshall to go by. Just looks like he overshot turn number 2, like I mentioned. Very tough there as he just overshot big time. And Mike Marshall almost followed him through there as well. So now Mike Marshall up to 6th place, spraying Cuxhausen down to 7th. Cody Dorsey in 8th. Marshall, I was looking at Calvin Smith around, actually going down pit lane. Not sure what happened there. Oh, destroy front end for that 3 machine through turn number 8. Just lost on entry to the grassy grows, and whoa, destroyed for that 3 machine. I don't know how he got back to pit road though. That thing is absolutely junked there. He does have a quick repair here, so he'll be able to fix that one up quickly, and it's gonna take some tires there as well. But now Mike Marshall up to that 5th place spot, and his Brand Cuxhausen up to 6th. Cody Dorsey up to 7th. Right now, currently, these drivers pre-separated. Here close to the racetrack is Mike Marshall and Brandon Cuxhausen. About 1.7 seconds is the gap there. So the last time that we do a little alluring, crank it up here at Mosport, here at Canadian Tire. There's Rick live here from Crank It Up here with 8 laps to go. Derek Riley closing in that gap on Rusty Rafferty here late in this race for his top 3 spots. How aggressive will these drivers be here fighting for his 3rd place spots? Knowing that they have a little bit of a bigger picture to be fighting for, as well as Dan Brown down pit lane. Looks like he might be junked here tonight. This looks like he may have some major damage to that 33 machine. But nevertheless, Derek Riley and Rusty Rafferty duking out here for 3rd and 4th. Jason Bombs slowly but surely you up to 7th place spots. He's side by side with Mark Marshall. Down in turn number 4. Marshall maybe overshot that corner just a little bit, not quite. Actually, turn 2, excuse me, as they're going down into turn number 3 right now. Marshall overdrives it. That's gonna allow Jason Bombs to squeak his way on through up to 7th place spots. Jason Bottoms up 9 spots here tonight. Big smooth race, big by far, not even close really. Got Derek Riley up 4 and Brandon Cox up 4 as well, but Jason Bottoms up 9 spots tonight. Ooh, spinner behind him, that's Mike Marshall, and he has a black flag. I think instant limits, he just hit the instant limit there. So have to bring it in through a drive-through in that 88 machine. With 6 laps to go, it's Joshua Schmitz out in front all night long. Derek Riley once again trying to get around Rusty Rafferty here late with 5 laps to go. So we'll see if he'll be able to do it here. Jason Miles has closed the gap now on Cody Dorsey for that 6th place spot as well. A 1 second gap between 6th and 7th. Two bombs clips that grass here. Luckily, didn't affect him too much in the turn 2. Now down to turn number 3. You can get around this 9 machine out of Cody Dorsey, even though Dorsey has about 8 lap fresher tires compared to Bottoms. Feels a little too two kind of balancing the race. So that could be 3 here in the moment as Calvin Smith has caught the Mike Marshall here for that 8th place spot. Rusty Rafferty also battling here. Derek Riley for 3rd and 4th. Cody Dorsey, Jason Bottoms 6th and 7th. And like I just mentioned, Mike Marshall and Calvin Smith 8th and 9th here late in this one. Started down pit lane, that's Steven Horner there. Jason Bottoms actually had to start from the pit lane due to not being able to set a lap time in qualifying. So that's why he was a little bit further back compared to the rest of the field. But just Joshua Smith has been so good tonight. He's lapped pretty much everyone up to 4th place. As I said, Calvin Smith got around Mike Marshall there for 8th. Marshall may have made a mistake there. Actually, yeah, Marshall goes off the racetrack through turn 2. So that gives a spot to Calvin Smith there. Kerry Orson doing a good job just hanging on to the 6th place spot ahead of Jason Bottoms. So Bottoms off the racetrack there, spins it in the background there. As he had a chance to maybe get the Cody Yorski for 6th place, but it looks like he'll have to settle for 7th as he just overcooked it there on the entry. Turn number 3, and around he goes on a 5 machine. Doesn't lose any spots, but he'll stay in that 7th place spot here for now. So now we're down to 1 battle within the second on the racetrack. That's Rusty Rafferty and Derek Rowley. But out in front, Joshua Schmitz, 25-second lead over Kyle Schmitz in 2nd. 2 laps to go here tonight as well. But Rusty Rafferty, Derek Rowley gonna duke it out here for 3rd and 4th. Every position here will matter. The next coming races at Chicagoland in 2 weeks' time. Decide who makes it to the round of 5 and will fight for a championship. Those last 3 races. It looks like Rusty Rafferty clipped the curb there only a little bit on the exit of turn number 8 and now through 9. But it looks like he opened up the gap just a little bit as Mike Marshall down pit lane. Once again, down in the 9th place spot. But can Rusty Rafferty hold on here for that top 3 spot and get a good point to stay here at Canadian Tire? It's going to be the big question going into tonight. Can Rusty Rafferty regroup after? Oh, Derek Riley goes way wide on the entry of turn 2. And that's 3rd place is Sayonara for that 17 machine. As he'll have to settle for that 4th place spots. Unless something crazy happens to Rusty Rafferty these next few laps, or corners I should say, as Joshua Smith just takes white flag this time by. And what a performance for that 2 machine. As long as he makes it through these corners, it's not cleanly, he's going to go back to back for the first time this season and pick up his 3rd win of the season as well, and just hang on for these next few corners. Joshua Schmitz through part of the toughest parts of the racetrack, first half of the racetrack, cleanly and smoothly as he makes his way down turn 6 and turn 7 down the back straightaway. Now down into turn number 8, we've seen a lot of issues here, but Joshua Schmitz hasn't really struggled through turn 8 too much as he makes it cleanly through turn number 8. Now through turn 9. Joshua Schmitz for the round of the final few corners. And he's going to pick up his third win on the season, but he's going to go back-to-back to start the playoffs. As he wins here at Canadian Tire for the Goats Fuel Grand Prix. And Joshua Schmitz picks up that victory. And he's looking really good to lock himself pretty much into the next round here after tonight. The dominant performance for that 2 machine. There's a 22-second lead over Kyle Schmitz as Russ Rafty, Derek Riley still somewhat close to the other. Riley has closed that gap down to around. Actually, he's around his back bumper right there. This is for the race. This is for third place. He's really closed that gap down big time. They do not have the live timing as Josh Schmitz already crossed the line. But this is still a battle for third place. These drivers are still racing here. Will we see a late lunch here from Derek Riley? Through turn 9, now through turn 10. Will he put to the inside? Not quite. He'll stay behind for now as Russ Raptor will pick up that third place spot. And Derek Riley will stay in 4th. As looks like everyone else has finished though in the session. But most importantly, Josh Schmitz will be your race winner. And we'll see if he does some burnouts here on the front straightaway of Canadian Tire. As everyone has completed in tonight's race, so results you see are official. We'll take a quick look at results as these drivers get back onto the front straightaway and does some burnouts here quickly before we go to break. So obviously your race winner here tonight, Joshua Schmitz, followed by Kyle Schmitz in 2nd, Rusty Rafty in 3rd, Derek Riley 4th, Brendan Cuxhausen in 5th, Kerry Dorsey 6th, Jason Bottoms in 7th, Calvin Smith in 8th, Mike Marshall in 9th, Cole Lewis in 10th. In 11th will be Stephen Horner. 12th will be Dan Stockdero. Scott Kerberg 13th. Dan Barone 14th. Sterling Hamilton 15th. And Dakota Bly in 16th with his technical issues tonight, unfortunately, for that 8 machine. You have to really try to get something in the next 2 weeks at Chicagoland. But out in front, Joshua Smith's burning it down here on the front straightaway. And a well-deserved victory for that 2 machine. As Joshua Smith resets in the pit lane, we take a quick break and we'll speak to our top 3 finishers right in a moment. Guys, back live here at Canadian Tire to speak to our race winner here of Joshua Schmitz. Hello, Josh, you got a copy?
Yep, gotcha.
So you go 2 in a row here to start the playoffs. Man, what a dominating performance here tonight at Canadian Tire. Talk us through your race and talk us kind of through your strategy as well, and how you're able just to dominate from the get-go pretty much.
Well, there wasn't really a question with the strategy. We could make it around 24, so just put it around 22 each time. Which kind of sucked because a lot of those guys made it a lot further than I did. So I'd like to keep, some bonus points away from some of the playoff guys, but didn't work out. Eric was. I knew from the very beginning, once we all got strung out, that he was going to be the one. He was running me down like nothing, and he just, made a few mistakes. I think I made one pretty good one all day, but minimize the mistakes.
Yeah, you pretty much said it perfectly. I think that's pretty much perfect right there. You just make the least mistakes and got the victory tonight. But looking forward to next week, or in 2 weeks, I guess I should say, in Chicagoland. What are your thought process in there, having a pretty big buffer in points going into the round of 5?
Yeah, the 1.5 miles is what I like, so I'm looking forward to it. I think Calvin is probably going to be the one to beat. He usually is if he doesn't, ruin his own race. So, it'll be fun.
Yeah, definitely. Well, congrats on your win here tonight at Canadian Tire. Anyone to thank for tonight's great victory?
Yeah, check out Spare Parts Gaming Community on Facebook and then My Mom's Addictions on eBay.
Well, congrats on going back-to-back here to start the playoffs, and we'll see you in 2 weeks at Chicagoland.
Thank you very much.
So that was Josh Schmitz there in that 2 machine picking up the win here for the Goats Fuel Grand Prix. He's bringing our second place finisher of Kyle Schmitz in the 19 machine. As rounds out in second place, started in second, I believe. Yeah, started in second, or third, excuse me. Started in third and picks himself up in second place. Hello, Kyle, got a copy?
Yes, sir. Hello.
So you pick up second place here tonight at Canadian Tire. Oh, that race was pretty eventful for you a little bit, just kind of staying in the top 3 spot for the most part, but how did you run tonight, and how did the car feel tonight actually at this road course?
Car felt great for me. I am not a road course guy. You can look at my previous results. Basically, shouldn't even show up, honestly. And then I qualified really good for some odd reason, and I told myself, whatever you do, don't do a 360. Get sideways, get loose. It doesn't matter. Just don't spin out. Try not to hit anyone else spinning out. I did get 90 degrees on the track a couple times, always in the same spot. I don't know if I was pushing too hard or whatever I was doing, but other than that, car was fine. Just literally told myself, don't crash. Whatever you do, don't crash.
That's definitely some good advice at road courses. Just make the least mistakes. But going into a couple weeks here at Chicagoland, what's your thought process? Just kind of make yourself go into the round of 5.
Maybe practice that track. I've never been on that track before. I don't even think I own the track, truthfully. Try to maybe leapfrog over my kid there, who's now won 2 in a row. Unbelievable. Hopefully keep pace with him. If I could finish ahead of him, that'd be great. Everyone in the playoffs kind of had a decent day. I do know, like, Dakota had some engine issues, and I saw Derek crash, but he still finished 4th. So, I mean, the playoff drivers still raced very well. Like, everyone's going to be tight. No one's pulling away. So I just think keep pace. I don't know exactly what the points are, but I maybe 2nd or 3rd.
Yeah,
just keep pace with the leader. Try to finish ahead of Josh, really. I mean, obviously everybody else too, but if we're going to beat Josh, someone's got to start finishing ahead of him in these playoffs. 2-0 is not acceptable.
No, but definitely a different racetrack than the others in 2 weeks' time at Chicagoland. But anyone would like to thank for tonight's great run here at Canadian Tire?
Absolutely. My Mom's Addictions on eBay. Go check us out. NASCAR memorabilia, diecast, stuff like that. Also, Spare Parts Gaming Community. A lot of Xbox racing and also iRacing on Mondays. Also, the league sponsors, appreciate you guys too. Smack in Burlington, KK Woodscapes, and Quantum. Thanks for all you do. And LRN, Talon, thanks for broadcasting this. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. And we'll see you in 2 weeks' time at Chicagoland.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
Thank you. As that was Kyle Schmitz, our second place finisher, as that was bringing Rusty Rafferty in our third place spots. Hello, Rusty, you got a copy?
I do.
So you bring it home in third place. Had a little interesting moment at the beginning of tonight's race, but you came back bit by bit and made up your track position and ended up in third place. Just talk us through. You kind of just rebounded from that mistake early on, and I think it was turn 8 or around there. Just how you came back there from the back and made your way inside the top 3 position.
Yeah, I was watching the guys in front of me and the guys behind me get into that corner a lot deeper than I was. So I thought, oh, hell, I can do it. And ended up sideways and wrecking. But yeah, just, keep your head about you. Just, focus, keeping it on the black. And, eventually it all came back to you. And I lucked out from everybody else's mistakes. And yeah, I'm very shocked to have gotten third here on a road course. I absolutely despise turning right.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of some of these other drivers tonight agree with that sentiment as well. But also, one thing I wanted to talk about was cold tires. Were you kind of noticing when you pit here on these cold tires, was there a little bit of a difference there within like the first 5 laps or so, trying to heat them back up, or how long did that take to really get them up to temperature?
It only took a lap, but for that one lap where they were cold, that car was evil. It just wanted to hook in any direction that it could, and you had to baby it. I don't know that I ran full throttle other than that long straightaway on cold tires. The car was pure evil, but as soon as you got a lap down, it was fine. It felt like it was fairly stuck in place. It wanted to snap at the lower speed sections, but other than that, it was actually pretty all right.
Yeah, definitely some drivers a little struggling there on cold tires, it seemed like, but that's exactly kind of what I kind of saw there as well. But with a great run here tonight for you, and hopefully we'll see you next week in 2 weeks' time at Chicagoland. But anyone I thank for tonight's great run?
I want to thank you guys for broadcasting. You guys do a fantastic job. I try to watch all your broadcasts through the week. And then I also want to thank Jason Bottoms. He was the sponsor of the race this week with I think he had Goat Fuel as the sponsor name, but ultimately it was Jason, and so thank him for that, and thank all the admins for putting this on. It's a fun time.
Yeah, definitely, and congrats on your third place here tonight at Chicago, at Canadian Tire, and we'll hopefully see you in 2 weeks' time at Chicagoland.
Thank you, my friend.
So as Russ, you're after your third place finisher, so like I mentioned kind of multiple times, in 2 weeks' time, obviously next week they have the Clash, or not the Clash, the Duels at Daytona in real life, so obviously we won't be racing the Quantum Contender Series during the NASCAR races, so we'll take a week off for next week, and then we'll come back right in the thick of things, the finale for the round of 10. So that's going to be interesting points. We'll see if points are updated here in a moment's time. Looks like they're not, but I believe obviously Josh Schmidt will be our points leader going into Chicagoland as well. He'll have a pretty big buffer, actually. Apparently he has about a 12-point buffer to the cutoff, and probably extend to around probably 20 or so, 22 or so there, and a pretty good buffer going into next week, or 2 weeks time I should say. I keep saying next week, but we're all fun race tonight. And up next on the Legends Racing Network, we got the Superstar ARCA Cup Series. They're going to Talladega, of all places, next week, right before the Daytona 500 in life as well. So a lot of Superstar action next week, and obviously Quantum Contender Series off next week. But then the week after, on 17th, we have the Top Tier Racing League. They'll be starting at Daytona in those Xfinity O'Reilly cars, I should say, now at Daytona. So that should be a fun one coming up. A new series. We broadcasted their season 1 about a year and a half ago, I would say. I think it was the summer of 2024. So that should be a fun little rejoin there in their series and their league as well. So overall fun race here tonight, Canadian Tire. Kind of a typical road course. Not a lot of maybe side-by-side action, but a lot of strategy, a lot of mistakes some of these drivers made, but a couple of drivers rebounded, like Rusty Rafferty. Derek Rowley also was involved in his kind of incident there as well, and he's made a few mistakes on his own. But overall, a fun race tonight, and definitely a different, unique kind of venue here in the playoffs. But We'll see you next time here on the Legends Racing Network. Thank you for watching.